Hare Krishna, Pranam, Lord devotees. Thank you all so much for joining. Let's
Hare
continue.
Krishna Mata.
Hare Krishna, Dhanvat Pranam.
Hare Krishna
Om
Mata.
Jnanaatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namah Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva. Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Krishna. So thank you. Welcome all of you. Thank you so much for joining. So we are on the 16th chapter of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrit. Very, very beautiful section because this chapter is about Lord Chaitanya and his ecstatic mood and the feelings of separation and the kind of emotions he's feeling because chapter itself is entitled Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tastes nectar from the lips of Lord Sri Krishna. It's a very, very beautiful section. Let's continue our reading. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda श्री चैतन्य चरितामृत की जय, श्रील कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, श्री गुरु महाराज की जय. So yesterday's section, the way it ended was where Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after finishing his evening duties, he sat down with his personal associates in a secluded place and he discussed the pastimes of Lord Krishna in great jubilation. And then Govinda, he was following the indications of Lord Chaitanya and he brings prasadam from Lord Jagannath. And the Lord, he shares the prasadam with all the devotees who are present there. And yesterday's verse 107, as they tasted the uncommon sweetness and fragrance of the prasadam, everyone's mind was struck with wonder. So today's section, we'll also read about the glories of prasadam. And then we'll go into another very beautiful section where we'll read about the feelings that the gopis were having in separation from Lord Krishna. And I was thinking that it is so wonderful that we are reading this section in Kartik, because in Kartik, in many temples and many places, devotees sing the Gopi Geet every day, which are the songs of separation which the gopis sung for Lord Krishna. So while reading this section, I was thinking of the Gopi Geet and the how the emotions that the gopis were going through, and we are reading that in this section. So we are very fortunate that we get to read this section. Okay, so let's start with verse 108. Swati Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam. You can read the three verses, Mataji, 108, 9 and 10.
Okay, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
प्रभु कहे सब हय प्रकट द्रव्य ऐक्ष्व कर्पूर मरीच इलाच्य लवंग गव्य रसवस गूढ़त्वक आदियत सभा प्रकृतवत्तुरा स्वद सबर अनुभव. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, these ingredients such as sugar, camphor, black pepper, cardamom, cloves, butter, spices, and gliso rice, and all are all material. Everyone has tasted these material substances before. The word Prakrita refers to the things tasted for the sense gratification of the conditioned soul. Such things are limited by the material laws. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to make the point that material things have already been experienced by materially observed persons who are interested only in sense gratification. तेयि द्रव्ययेत आस्वाद गंध लोकातीता आस्वाद करिय देखा सबहर प्रतीता. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. However, the Lord continued, in these ingredients there are extraordinary taste and uncommon fragrances. Just taste them and see the difference in the experience. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So this is something I think we have all experienced, right? The ingredients that are used for cooking bhoga for Lord Krishna, they are the same ingredients that many other people use for making the normal food items also. So Lord Chaitanya is here saying, the Lord himself is saying that these ingredients such as sugar, camphor, black pepper, cardamom, cloves, butter, spices, licorice, all are material. So these basic ingredients, these spices, these are all material. And everyone has tasted these material substances before. So Prabhupada is explaining in the purport that the word prakrita refers to things tasted for the sense gratification of the conditioned soul. So there is a difference in the intention with which the cooking is being done. Is it for our own sense gratification or is it to satisfy the senses of Lord Krishna? So all the things which are for sense gratification of the conditioned soul, Prabhupada is saying that the word prakrita refers to those things and such things because the intention is sense gratification of the conditioned soul. So they have the limitation, they are limited by material laws. To those food items, material laws are going to apply. But prasadam is something which is very, very special. So that is why, even if it is something as simple as the khichdi which is served in many ISKCON temples, if you think it's not it's not something which is very complicated or it is like, a culinary, something very only culinary experts can make. It is not that. It is a simple dish. Khichdi is a simple dish. But why do people keep coming again and again, or the simple kheer, or the simple kheer of Radha Ramanji? It is why is it so attractive? Why does it pull people? Because it is not ordinary. It is not limited by material laws. Like Prabhupada is explaining these things, that the things which are cooked for the sense gratification of the conditioned soul or things which are used for the sense gratification of the conditioned soul, they are limited by material laws. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to make the point that material things have already been experienced by materially absorbed persons who are interested only in sense gratification. But when these ingredients are used for something which is much higher, when the intention becomes pleasing the senses of Krishna, then in these ingredients there are extraordinary tastes and uncommon fragrances. So same ingredients, if we give the same ingredients to two people and we ask them to make the same item with the same recipe, you all know that one who cooks just for one's personal eating versus another devotee who is cooking for the pleasure of the Lord, the ultimate result is going to be completely different. Both of these items, even though with the same ingredients, with the same recipe, everything same, but the difference is going to come because the second one is being cooked by a devotee with love for the pleasure of Krishna, offered to Krishna. And when Krishna tastes, then everything changes. So we have to understand that, these things which Prabhupada has made so accessible for us, these are not ordinary things. See, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Krishna himself is saying, he's giving us this learning that how important is prasadam. Okay, so we should always understand that the routine, or the process that has been given to us is very powerful. Just because it is accessible to us, it doesn't mean that it is not powerful. And we have to have faith that yes, prasadam will make a difference, because prasadam is not ordinary food. Yes, we may, in comparison, some people we may actually not like what we are cooking, because we don't use any tamasic things, we don't use onion, garlic, and we don't make it too spicy or too hot. We don't do that. We cook in a sattvic way, but because it is offered to Lord Krishna, it is special. And in this regard, once His Grace Gaurang Prabhu was narrating an incident that is from his own personal experience. And he was saying that he used to go for preaching in colleges in IIT Mumbai. He used to go. And for many years he was preaching there. And uh, what they used to do is that they would go to the college, they would give Bhagavad Gita classes, and then some prasadam to all the boys who would gather. And in this way, many devotees have come in this way from college preaching, and it's a very successful preaching. And then Gaurang Prabhu was saying that many years later, once he had gone to some place in the US for a preaching program, and there he met one boy from his college preaching days. And that boy was now initiated. And he came and he spoke to Gaurang Prabhu that, Prabhu, I used to just come for the class because of the prasad he used to bring. I was not interested in the philosophy, but I would just come for the prasad. And that's it. After that, I lost touch. I got busy with, my studies and then my job. And then I wanted to move to the US and then family and all that, everything I did. But then one fine day, I realized that all this is not actually giving me happiness. And then I remembered your preaching, and then I looked for the nearest ISKCON temple where I was staying, and he started coming for programs. And at the time when he was meeting Gaurang Prabhu, he was an initiated devotee in ISKCON. So Gaurang Prabhu was saying that sometimes it took, in this case, it took 15 years for prasadam to have effect, but prasadam does have effect. So we have to have that faith. So whether it is our family members who don't support our Krishna consciousness or anyone else, we should always look for an opportunity to give everyone prasadam, because prasadam it means it's Krishna's mercy. So Prabhupada has made it so important in ISKCON, right? That every temple you go, you will definitely come out with some prasadam. So these verses are telling us how important prasadam actually is. Yeah, okay. Moving on. Sumati Mataji, please read 5 verses.
Hari Bol Mataji, very encouraging. Thank you,
Yes,
Mataji.
Mataji, very good.
Text 111. आस्वाद दूरे रहु यारा गंदे माते मना आपन वीना अन्य माधुर्य karaya vismarana. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Apart from the taste, even the fragrance pleases the mind and makes one forget any other sweetness besides its own. Text 112. ताते एहि द्रव्ये कृष्ण धारा स्पर्श हैला आधरेरा गुण sabha ihate sancharila. Translation. Therefore, it is to be understood that the spiritual nectar of Krishna's lips has touched these ordinary ingredients and transferred to them all their spiritual qualities. Purport. Since everyone had previously tasted these ingredients, why had they become extraordinary and spiritually delicious? This was proof that food, prasadam, becomes uncommonly flavorful and delicious by touching Krishna's lips. Text 113. Alaukika gandha swada anya vismarana mahamadaka haya ei Krishna dhare raguna. Translation. A fragrance and taste that are uncommon and greatly enchanting and that make one forget all other experiences are attributes of Krishna's lips. Text 140. Aneka sukrite iha hayache samprapti sabe ei aswadakara kari mahabhakti. This prasadam, translation, this prasadam has been made available only as a result of many pious activities. Now taste it with great faith and devotion. Text 150. Hari dhvani kari sabe kaila aswadana aswadite preme mata haila sabara mana. Translation. Loudly chanting the holy name of Hari, all of them tasted the prasadam. As they tasted it, their minds became mad in the ecstasy of love. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So Lord Chaitanya is teaching us that the taste. I mean, apart from the taste is obviously very wonderful, but not just the taste, even the fragrance pleases the mind and makes one forget any other sweetness besides its own. And why is that? Because it has been touched by Krishna's lips. It is to be understood that the spiritual nectar of Krishna's lips has touched these ordinary ingredients and transferred to them all their spiritual qualities. So the ingredients, even though ordinary, because they have been touched by Krishna's lips, so the spiritual nectar of Krishna's lips has gone into these ingredients and that's why they have become spiritual. That's why prasadam is not material, it is spiritual. And Prabhupada is explaining that everyone had previously tasted these ingredients. Why had they become extraordinary and spiritually delicious? This was proof that food prasadam becomes uncommonly flavorful and delicious by touching Krishna's lips. Even some people who may not be offering daily, they have also told me that on special days, on festival days, for example, when they are cooking for Naivedyam, that day the food that they are making definitely tastes better. So this is proof. What more proof do we need that there is God, that Krishna is there? This is such an obvious proof that you make the same food, but when you offer it to Krishna, the ordinary thing becomes extraordinary. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that a fragrance and taste that are uncommon and greatly enchanting and that make one forget all other experiences are attributes of Krishna's lips. Why does it become possible for devotees to give up non-prasadam? See, ordinarily, if we see someone who has been eating a particular kind of food, say, for example, people who have been eating non vegetarian food or people who have been eating onion garlic all their life, if they are just, say, for example, for a medical reason, they are told not to eat something, it is difficult, to give up our eating habits. It's difficult for people. But why does it become easy for devotees to do that? Because they are getting a higher taste. Prasadam is definitely a higher taste. The bhakti of Krishna, this lifestyle is definitely a higher taste. That's why many people wonder, how are devotees able to lead such a strict life? How are they able to give up so many eating things and not eating outside, not eating non-prasadam? Why aren't they feeling that craving? Because they're getting a higher taste. And see, this 114th verse, it is our fortune, it is our great, luck that we are getting prasadam. It is very, very special because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that this prasadam has been made available only as a result of many pious activities. So it is something very rare. It doesn't come in in everyone's hand. If one is getting prasadam, that means one has performed many pious activities. So he says, now taste it with great faith and devotion. And then loudly chanting the holy name of Hari, all the devotees tasted the prasadam. And as they tasted it, their minds became mad in the ecstasy of love. So we should make a very sincere attempt to eat only prasadam and definitely make it available to as many people around us as possible. So it is something which is very, very special. Okay. Yeah. Let's move
Mataji, even
forward.
the food we make at home, Mataji, even the food that we make at home becomes
Yes,
after cook
Mataji.
when you taste perfect chili, salt, everything becomes so perfect and so tasty. It's very,
True, Mataji.
it's very, very difficult to believe. Everyone says you didn't even taste the food, but it's so perfect. You don't have to put
Correct.
salt and anything.
That is so true, Mataji. And this is something, which we can only know if we experience it. If we tell
Yeah.
someone, they may not believe. But as you rightly said, because you have experienced it, you can say it with confidence. So it definitely is very true, Mataji. So true. Yeah. That's why, Mataji, this whole process of preparing with cleanliness and a clean consciousness, and then the process of offering itself. It's not like, okay, I cook for Krishna and I'm going to directly give it to Krishna and Krishna is going to accept. It's not that. Now we offer it through parampara. So
Yes.
that means, the parampara is taking it to Krishna and then we get the prasad. So that adds so much potency into this whole work and, this whole seva. And many times in routine, we may forget it, but we should keep reminding ourselves that this is a very important seva. We are giving it through our Guru, through Prabhupada, and through whole parampara, and then it is reaching Krishna, and then we are getting that prasadam. So it is so, it is so potent, it is so powerful. Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Thank you for bringing that point. And
And one more point, Mataji, choti mo badi baat. Mornings, as we enter the kitchen, first time, as soon as we light the gas, we have to pray to Radharani, saying that yeah, I'm just helping Radharani to cook for Thakurji.
correct. Very
That
true, Mataji.
also, yes.
Yeah. Actually, in some temples, they name the kitchen as Radharani's kitchen. So
Uh,
that the devotees have that consciousness. Yes, Mataji, thank you for pointing that. Yes. Yeah, we are all just assisting Radharani in her cooking for Krishna. Actually,
correct.
one Mataji in Chapati temple, ISKCON Chapati, she has been cooking for the deities for many years. She's elderly. And she was saying that before she enters the kitchen, the deity kitchen, she goes and prays to Shri Radha Gopinath that, please, empower me or bless me so that I can cook properly for your service. And then once she comes out, then she specially prays to Radharani that if there is something missing, kuch upar niche hai, to please you adjust and then you give it to Krishna. So that consciousness is so important that actually Radharani is offering to Krishna. Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Yeah, Sureka Mataji, you want to read the next 5 verses?
Mataji, is it Sureka or Reka?
Sureka, I was talking to you.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Text 117.
116, Mataji. 116 to 120.
Okay. Text 116. प्रेमावेशे महाप्रभु याबे आज्ञदीला रामानंदराय श्लोक पाडिते लगिला. Translation. In ecstatic love, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ordered Ramanandaraya to receive some verses. Thus, Ramanandaraya spoke as follows. Text 117. Suratavardanam shokama नाशनम स्वरिता वेणुना शास्तु चुंबितम शुस्तु चुंबितम इतर राग विष्णु विश्व विस्मरा मरा मरणम नृणम वितर वीरनास्ते आधारामृतम. Translation. O hero of charity, please deliver unto us the nectar of your lips. That nectar increases lusty desires for enjoyment and diminishes lamentation in the material world. Kindly give us the nectar of your lips, which are touched by your transcendentally vibrating flute, for that nectar makes all human beings forget all other attachments. This is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam. Text 118. Shloka suni Mahaprabhu Mahatushta Haila Radhara Utkantha Shloka Padite Lagila. Translation. Upon hearing Ramananda Raya quote this verse, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very satisfied. Then he recited the following verse, which had been spoken by Srimati Radharani in great anxiety. Text 119. Vrajatula kulangane tara rasali trishna Pradivyad adharamruta Sukruti labhya Felalava Sudhajid ahivalika Sudalavitika charvita Same madana mohana Sakhitanoti jihva spruham. Translation. My dear friend, the all surpassing nectar from the lips of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna can be obtained only after many, many pious activities. For the beautiful gopis of Vrindavana, that nectar vanquishes the desire for all other tastes. Madana Mohana always chews pan that surpasses the nectar of heaven. He is certainly increasing the desires of my tongue. This verse is found in the Govinda Lila Amrita 8.8. Text 120. Yetaka hi gaura prabhu bhava vistahana duyi shlokera artha kare Pralapakariya. Translation. After saying this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was overwhelmed by ecstatic loving emotions. Talking like a madman, he began to explain the meaning of the two verses. Hare Krishna
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Bol. So this is a very nice time that all the devotees are having with each other. They just had prasadam. They're chanting Krishna's names, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's in ecstasy. He orders Ramanand Rai to recite some verses, and Rai recites this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. So in this verse, let's read the translation here, and then we'll also read the translation from Srimad Bhagavatam. That will help us, get more clarity. So the gopis are speaking to Lord Krishna that you're the hero of charity. Please deliver unto us a nectar of your lips. And that nectar increases lusty desires for enjoyment and diminishes lamentation in the material world. So this lusty desire mentioned here is not the lusty desire of this material world. It is the the esoteric and the madhurya ras, that kind of desires which the gopis have for Lord Krishna. They are asking Krishna to give the nectar of his lips. So Srimad Bhagavatam, this shloka, the translation is that, O hero, kindly distribute to us the nectar of your lips, which enhances conjugal pleasure and vanquishes grief. So it is that conjugal love that is being referred to here, and that vanquishes grief. That nectar is thoroughly relished by your vibrating flute and makes people forget any other attachment. So when one gets attached to Lord Krishna, then other attachments just fade away. So the gopis are praying like that to Krishna. Then back to Chaitanya Charitamrita, 118th verse. Once, after hearing this quote from Ramanand Rai, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very happy, he was very satisfied. And then he recited this verse, which had been spoken by Srimati Radharani in great anxiety. So Radharani, and this is from Govinda Lila Amrit, where Radharani is saying that, my dear friend, the all-surpassing nectar from the lips of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, can be obtained only after many, many pious activities. So this is something for the very elevated devotees only. For the beautiful gopis of Vrindavan, that nectar vanquishes the desire for all other tastes. So gopis, we have heard from devotees, we have read that for them, everything was Krishna. When Krishna would call, when it was time to see Krishna, they would just leave everything as it is and run. They were not worried about, what their family members are going to say, what is going to happen once they come back. Everything else just faded away, and it was only Krishna and Krishna. So they didn't have any other desire apart from Krishna. And Madan Mohan always chews pan that surpasses the nectar of heaven. He is certainly increasing the desires of my tongue. So Radharani is saying that, how there is desire to taste the nectar of Krishna. And then after reciting this verse, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he becomes overwhelmed with ecstatic, loving emotions. Talking like a madman, he began to explain the meaning of the 2 verses. Okay. Yeah. So let's move forward with our reading. Second. Yeah. Krishnamurti Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Pranams Mataji.
Ram Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
तानुमाना कार्य सुक्षोभा बडय सुरत लोभा हर्ष शोकादि भार विनाशाय पार पारार पारा पास पासाराय अन्यरस जगत करे आत्मवाश लज्जा धर्म धैर्य करे क्षय नागरसु न तुम्हारा आदर चरिता माताया नैरन्मना जिह्वा करे अक्षरण विचारिते सभा विपरीते विचारिते सभा विपरीता. Translation by Sri Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. My dear lover, Lord Chaitanya said in the mood of Srimati Radharani, let me describe some of the characteristics of your transcendental lips. They agitate the mind and body of everyone. They increase lusty desires for enjoyment. They destroy the burden of material happiness and lamentation, and they make one forget all material tastes. The whole world falls under their control. They vanquish shame, religion, and patience, especially in women. Indeed, they inspire madness in the minds of all women. Your lips increase the greed of the tongue and thus attract it. Considering all this, we see that the activities of your transcendental lips are always paradoxical. Oh, super. Text 123. अचूक नारीर काया कयिते वैशालाजा तोमर आधार बड़ा तुष्टराया पुरुष कर अक्षरण आपन पियते माना अन्य रस सभा पासाराया. Translation by C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. My dear Krishna, since you are a male, it is not very extraordinary that the attraction of your lips can disturb the minds of women. But I am ashamed to say that your impudent lips sometimes attract even your flute, which is also considered a male. It likes to drink the nectar of your lips, and thus it also forgets all other tastes. Text 24. सचेतन राहु दूरे अचेतन सचेतन करे तोमर आधार बड़ा विजिकर तोमर वेणु सुखेंधन तारा तारा जन्मय इंद्रिय मन तारे अपन प्रिय निरंतरा. Translation by Sri Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. Aside from conscious living beings, even unconscious matter is sometimes made conscious by your lips. Therefore, your lips are great magicians. Paradoxically, although your flute is nothing but dry wood, your lips constantly make it drink their nectar. They create a mind and senses in the dry wooden flute and give it transcendental bliss. Text 125. वेणुदृष्ट पुरुषहन पुरुषधर प्रिय पिया गोपी गणे जनय निजपन आहो सुन गोपी गण भले पिनो तोमर धन तोमर यदि थके अभिमान. Translation by Sri Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. The flute is a very cunning male who drinks again and again the taste of another male's lips. It advertises its qualities and says to the gopis, "O gopis, if you are so proud of being women, come forward and enjoy your property, the nectar of the lips of the Supreme Personality of Godhead." Hare Krishna Mataji,
Hare
Pranams
Krishna.
Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Pranam. So, in this section, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it's like mentioned in the verse 120 that he's overwhelmed with ecstatic, loving emotions, and then he begins to explain the meaning of the 2 verses. So, Lord Chaitanya is now speaking in the mood of Srimati Radharani that, my dear lover, let me describe some of the characteristics of your transcendental lips. So, he's going to describe the characteristics of Krishna's transcendental lips. They agitate the mind and body of everyone and increase lusty desires for enjoyment. So, here again, though the word lusty desire come, it is not the material lust, because the very next point is that they destroy the burden of material happiness and lamentation. So, it is nothing material. It is that conjugal attraction to Krishna. And then they make one forget all material tastes. So once one has that attraction for Krishna, all other material tastes fade away. The whole world falls under their control, and they vanquish shame, religion, and patience, especially in women. Indeed, they inspire madness in the minds of all women because everyone gets attracted to Krishna. Your lips increase the greed of the tongue and thus attract it. Considering all this, we see that the activities of your transcendental lips are always paradoxical. So, paradoxical means something that is contradictory, like one, something which is going against the other thing. So it's like that here, because women generally are supposed to have a lot of shame, and they're very shy and reserved a little, but Krishna's lips, they are attracting everyone so much. So that's why the activities of your transcendental lips are always paradoxical, because they are just making women do things which they don't usually do. And then next point, that another paradox here is that uh, the Radharani is saying that you are a male, so the attraction of your lips can disturb the minds of women. So that is natural, that can happen. But Radharani says that I am ashamed to say that your lips sometimes even attract your flute, which is also male. Generally, the attraction is between male and female, but here the male is getting attracted to the male, so that is another paradox, another contradiction. Generally we don't see that. So then Radhanani says it likes to drink the nectar of your lips, and thus it also forgets all other tastes. So everywhere, the focus of these verses is how attractive Krishna's lips are, that it attracts everyone, and whoever gets attracted to Krishna's lips forgets about all other lower tastes. Then moving on, aside from conscious living beings, even unconscious matter is sometimes made conscious by your lips. So it is not just the conscious beings who are getting attracted, but even unconscious matter gets attracted. So then Radharani said that your lips are great magicians. Paradoxically, although your flute is nothing but dry wood. So what is the unconscious matter? Generally, wood is considered to be unconscious matter, right? Wood doesn't really have life, or it reacts, doesn't happen. But flute is considered nothing but dry wood. But Krishna's lips are constantly making the flute drink their nectar. So that is also happening. And they create a mind and senses in the dry wooden flute and give it transcendental bliss. So even the flute, which is just dry wood, that is also experiencing transcendental bliss. And the flute is a very cunning male who drinks again and again the taste of another male's lips. So the flute, which is also considered male, is drinking the nectar from another male's lips. And Radharani is saying that she's calling the flute cunning because it advertises its qualities, and it's telling to the gopis that if you are so proud of being women, come forward and enjoy the property, the nectar of the lips of the Supreme Lord. And while all this, the flute is happily drinking the nectar of Krishna's lips. Okay. Yeah, so very beautiful, kind of friendly conversation happening. Yeah. Yeah, next, Kripa Mai Sita Devi Dasi Mataji, next 5 verses.
Thank you, Mataji. Dandatna, Mataji. Am I audible, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, please read.
Text 126.
Yes.
Tabe mura krodha kare laja baya dharma chadi dimu kara asipana nahi pimu nirantara domaya mura nihidara anya dekan te trenara samana. Translation by His Divine Grace Prabhupada ki jai. Thereupon the flute said angrily to me, give up your shame, fear, and religion, and come drink the lips of Krishna. On that condition, I shall give up my attachment for them. If you do not give up your shame and fear, however, I shall continuously drink the nectar of Krishna's lip. I am slightly fearful because you also have the right to drink that nectar. But as far as the others, I consider them like straw. Next, shall I read Mataji? Text 127.
Yes, Mataji, till 130.
Okay. Adharma, Ada Amarta, Adaramrta nija sveram Shanchirasi bale Aksharsaya Trijat Jana Amana Dharma Bayakari Tahiyadi Teratari Tabi Amayakari Vidamna Vidabana. Translation by Prabhupada Kijay. The nectar of Krishna's lips, combined with the vibration of his flute, attracts all the people of three worlds. If we gopis remain patient out of respect for religious principles, the flute then criticizes us. Text 128. Nibika saya guru age laja dharma karaya taya kesi dariyana lana ya anikaraya tomara dasi sunil karihasi yemata narida nachayam. Translation by His Divine Grace Prabhupada Kijay. The nectar of your lips and the vibration of your flute join together to loosen our bells and induce us to give up shame and religion even before our superiors. As if catching us by hair, they forcibly take us away and deliver us unto you to become your maid servants. Hearing of these incidents, people laugh at us if we have thus become completely subordinate to the flute. Text 129. Suska Bansera Ladikana Eta Kare Apamana Eda Sikarila Gosani Nasahi ki Katipari Tahi Rahi Monadari Korara Me Korara Makidai Kantida Nai. Translation by His Divine Grace Prabhupada Kijay. This flute is nothing but a dry stick of bamboo, but it becomes our master and insults us in so many ways that it forces us into a predicament. What can we do but tolerate it? What can we do but tolerate it? The mother of the thief cannot cry loudly for justice when the thief is punished. Therefore, we simply remain silent. Text 130. Adararera itiriti iriti arasuna guniti sei atara sane yaramela sei baksha bojapana haya amrita samana namatara haya Krishna pela. Translation by Prabhupada Kijay. Such is the policy of these slaves. Just consider some other injustices. Everything that touches those lips, including the food, drink, or beetle, becomes just like nectar. It is then called Krishna Pela or remnants.
Sorry. 1 second.
Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram.
Which verse was that, Mataji? Do you remember the shloka number?
178.
She finished 130.
130.
Yeah,
130.
right? Yeah, we're here.
130 or 129, I think she finished. Yeah, 129 she finished.
Okay. Yeah, Mataji, you can read 130, please. Sorry about that.
It's not coming.
Not yet there?
Yes, Mataji. No, I'm not able to see the screen.
Okay.
The word for the word index is on.
I'll stop sharing. I'll share again. Yeah, now you can see Mataji?
Mataji, yes, Mataji.
Yeah. Yeah, 130.
130 I finished, Mataji.
Oh, you finished? Okay.
Finished.
Okay. Then we'll just discuss these 5 verses.
Okay, Mataji.
Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So, this is a friendly banter, this friendly kind of conversation that Radharani is having with the flute. And she says that thereupon the flute said angrily to me, "Give up your shame, fear, and religion and come drink the lips of Krishna." So, in the previous section, we read that how the flute is drinking the nectar of Krishna and it's calling upon the gopis that why don't you all also come and drink this nectar? And then it's the flute is saying like this, that you give up everything and come and drink the lips of Krishna. On that condition I shall give up my attachment for them. If you do not give up your shame and fear, however, I shall continuously drink the nectar of Krishna's lips. So the flute is saying that I will continue drinking the nectar of Krishna's lips unless you give up all your shame, your fear, everything, and then you come. Till then, I will not give up this attachment. I shall continuously drink the nectar of Krishna's lips. I'm slightly fearful because you also have the right to drink the nectar. But as for the others, I consider them like straw. So the flute is telling Radharani that you definitely have the right to drink. So I'm fearful that you will come and take this away from me. The nectar of Krishna's lips, combined with the vibration of his flute, attracts all the people of the 3 worlds. But if we gopis remain patient out of respect for religious principles, the flute then criticizes us. So Radharani is saying that we are not proceeding forward because we are just, thinking about, what the world is going to say and what religious principles we need to follow. And that is why we remain patient. But if we don't, if we don't actually become very forward about it, if we don't actually go and start drinking the nectar of Krishna's lips out of respect for religious principles, then the flute is criticizing us. Then now, more description of the nectar of Krishna's lips. The nectar of your lips and the vibration of your flute join together to loosen our belt. So that whole, this attraction for Krishna's lips and then the flute sound, it's making the gopis, completely enamored. And they're able to, not think of anything, whether it is shame or religion or anything else. Even in the presence of superiors, they're not able to really control their emotions. And they feel that someone is just pulling them. It's like someone catching them by their hair, forcibly taking them away. Hearing of these incidents, people laugh at us. We have thus become completely subordinate to the flute. So that sound and that attraction is making them completely maddened. And this flute is nothing but a dry stick of bamboo. But if they're saying that it is what it is just an ordinary stick of bamboo, but that is becoming our master and insulting us in so many ways that it forces us into a predicament. So we don't know what to do, whether to just really be in shame and be very shy or to give up everything and run towards Krishna. What can we do but tolerate it? The mother of a thief cannot cry loudly for justice when the thief is punished. Therefore, we simply remain silent. So the gopis are not really able to do anything because it is Krishna's flute only. Such is the policy of these lips. Just consider some other injustices. Everything that touches those lips, including food, drink, or beetle, becomes just like nectar. It is then called Krishna Fela, or remnants left by Krishna. So again, going back to the glory of prasadam, because it is touched by Krishna's lips. So Radhanani is saying that everything that is touched by Krishna's lips, whether it is food or any drink or even beetle, it becomes just like nectar. And what is it called? It is called remnants left by Krishna, or Krishna Fela. Okay.
Mataji,
Yes,
Mataji, one
Mataji.
doubt.
Yeah.
This Krishna's flute is the expansion of Balrama. It is also one of the personification only, no, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, all paraphernalia items are expansions of Balramji, because Balramji serves in every way, in all rasas. So everything is actually considered an expansion of Balramji. So yeah, I mean the flute is a separate personality in itself. But I mean, you also have a point that it is also it's Balramji's expansion only, because everything is in Krishna's service. Everything is expansion of Balramji only.
Then why Radharani is mentioning that flute, even it is wood like that, she is mentioning, no, Mataji.
Mataji, this is just a friendly banter, because they are saying that the flute is kind of, in a way criticizing them for not able to give up everything and come to Krishna. So this is not really a very serious conversation where they actually mean everything they are saying, but because of the relationship they have with each other, they are able to say these things. So Radharani is not demeaning the flute's position, because the flute is Krishna's flute. So she's not demeaning the flute, but it is just a friendly banter in which she's saying that, you have this control over us, even though you're just made of wood. So it's not like she's criticizing in a very serious way. It's not a serious conversation, Mataji. Yeah.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Okay, so yeah, Gandhimati Mataji, next 5 verses.
Hare Krishna, I read now.
Pranam, Mataji.
Text 131. Sipilara ke kalava napaya devata sabha ye dambe kabe patiyaya bahu janma punya kare tabi sukriti nama tare se sukriti tara lava paya. Translation. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Even after much prayer, the demigods themselves cannot obtain even a small portion of the remnants of such food. Just imagine the pride of those remnants. Only a person who has acted fiercely for many, many births and has thus become a devotee can obtain the remnants of such food. 132. Krishna ye kaya tambula kahe tara nahi mula tahe ara tamba paripati tara yeba udgara tare kaya amruda sara gopira mukha kare alabati. Translation. The beetle chewed by Krishna is priceless, and the remnants of such chewed beetle from his mouth are said to be the essence of nectar. When the gopis accept these remnants, these mouths become his spittoons. Hare Krishna. Text 133. Ye saba tomara kunti nati chadap ye paripati venudware kanhe hara prana apanara hasilagi naha narira vata bagi deha nija tara mruta dana. Translation. Therefore, my dear Krishna, please give up all the tricks you have set up so expertly. Do not try to kill the life of the gopis with the vibration of your flute. Because of your joking and laughing, you are becoming responsible for the killing of women. It would be better for you to satisfy us by giving us the charity of the nectar of your lips. Text 134. Kahite prabhura mana piri gela krota hamsa santa haila utkanta badila. Translation. While Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was taking like this, his mind changed. His anger subsided, but his mental agitation increased. 135. Paramadurlabha yeyi Krishna dharamrita taha yeyi paya tara sapala jivita. Translation. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, this nectar from Krishna's lips is supremely difficult to obtain, but if one gets some, his life becomes successful. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Bol. So regarding this point about which Mataji had raised the question that the flute is an expansion of Balramji. So in one lecture, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj had said this, because Balramji serves in all the rasas. So Balramji, yes, he expands as Krishna's crown, Krishna's flute, everything else that is used in Krishna's service. So yes, the flute is an expansion of Balramji. But why is Radharani calling the flute just ordinary bamboo? It is just that friendly reciprocation, friendly conversation that they are having. She's not belittling the position of the flute in any way. Okay, now this section, again about the importance of prasadam. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that even after much prayer, the demigods themselves cannot obtain even a small portion of Krishna Prasadam. It is so rare. So just imagine the pride of those remnants. They're so precious. So only a person who has acted piously for many births and has thus become a devotee can actually obtain the remnants of such food. So prasadam is very glorious. And the beetle chewed by Krishna is priceless, and the remnants of such chewed beetle from his mouth are said to be the essence of nectar. And when the gopis accept these remnants, their mouths become his spittoons, in which Krishna puts the beetle nut coming out from his mouth. Therefore, my dear Krishna, please give up all the tricks you have set up so expertly. Now it's finally the gopis and Radharani are just saying that, give up all your tricks, Krishna. Do not take the life out of the gopis. Just, do not try to kill the life of the gopis with the vibration of your flute. Do not kill the gopis. Because of your joking and laughing, you're becoming responsible for the killing of women. So they are like, enough is enough, Krishna. Now don't take the life out of the gopis. Just satisfy us. Better you satisfy us by giving us a charity of the nectar of your lips. And with all this conversation, finally Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's become, his anger is subsided. That anger of the flute talking like this to the gopis and then Radharani retaliating, all that anger has subsided, but his mental agitation has increased. In that the thoughts of Krishna, that separation from Krishna, that is agitating Mahaprabhu. So next week we'll move forward 135. Okay, no, we read 135. Yeah, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, with this agitated mind, Mahaprabhu says that this nectar from Krishna's lips is supremely difficult to obtain, but if one gets some, his life becomes successful. This is very rare, very difficult to obtain, but just when one gets it, one's life becomes successful. So that is also bhakti for Krishna, right? That it is difficult. It's not so easy, it's not cheap at all to obtain, but when one gets devotion to Krishna, then that's it. One's life is successful. Okay, so we'll move forward next week. Okay, if any questions, any comments, anything you would like to add.
Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Yes,
Last
Mataji, Hare
evening,
Krishna.
during the evening
Yeah.
class, Srimad Bhagavatam, this Mataji said that from 28 to say, I think second or third, they are going to stop the classes. So we didn't get any intimation about this.
I'll check, Mataji. I'll check with Prabhu and we'll send the communication in the group.
From Monday, that's from
Even
Monday.
I have not received that confirmation, Mataji, so I'll check and let you all know. I'll post in the group.
Yeah, they say because of this Diwali and all, a lot of people are going here and there. They're not, even the teachers will not be available, Matajis. They won't be available. So
yes,
that's
Mataji,
why.
because it's Maharaj's Yatra also, so many Matajis are going for that.
Yeah, with yeah.
I'll check, Mataji. I'll check with Prabhu and let you all know.
Yes.
I'll
Okay,
post
Mataji. Put in the group, right?
I'll put in the group, yes.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Mataji.
So in case we don't have class next week, so happy Deepavali, happy Govardhan Puja to all of you.
Same to you, Mataji.
So let's remember that Lord Ram is coming home and let's bring Lord Ram in our hearts. So with that consciousness, we'll celebrate Diwali and Govardhan Puja.
Thank you, Mataji. Wish you all and your family.
Deepavali, Mataji.
You all
Deepavali.
happy Diwali.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, but then why do people do Lakshmi Puja on Diwali?
Mataji, I don't know because I've never really come across very shastric reference, but someone had said that this concept of worshipping Lakshmi and Ganesh is because this day we are welcoming auspiciousness in our home. So
Goddess
we
of
need to
fortune.
Goddess of fortune, yes. And we need to worship Ganesha so that we have the right attitude to use the fortune. But I have not heard this in ISKCON, so I cannot really, authoritatively say this. So what I have heard from devotees is that this is the day Lord Ram is returning. So with that consciousness, we should celebrate Diwali, that we are welcoming Lord Ram home. So we are lighting the diyas, we are cleaning our homes and our hearts to welcome Lord Ram.
Yeah,
so this
because
is
it was Amavasya, Mataji. It was Amavasya.
Yes,
It comes on Amavasya, so they have to light lamps. you
Yes,
know,
Mataji.
illuminate the
True.
country so that he can find his
Yeah,
path.
so many customs, we don't really know why we are doing that, what we are doing.
Yeah,
But this, we are sure that Lord Ram is coming, so we should have that consciousness of welcoming
to
Lord
celebrate.
Ram home. So
Yeah,
we clean our homes, we clean our hearts, and with that consciousness, we light the lamps and welcome the Lord. So this is how we should celebrate.
yes, Mataji.
All businessmen will
Thank
start
you,
their
Mataji.
account on Amavasya,
Yes,
Mataji.
Mataji.
They will
Actually,
do
many
puja
people
and
think, yeah, Mataji, different customs.
yes,
But
yes.
fortunately, by Prabhupada's mercy, we know the real reason, so we should celebrate with that reason. Welcoming
First
Lord Ram.
Chaturdashi, Lord Krishna killed Narakasura. For that we
That is
celebrate.
also there.
And the
Yeah.
second day, it's Amavasya, Lakshmi Puja. Third day, Balipatami, Vamana went, Lord went in the form of Vamana and took all
Okay.
his wealth. So that
Okay.
way.
Yeah. Yeah, Mataji. So good to know the actual reasons so we can have the right consciousness on these festival days. Yeah. So thank you all for that. Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
See you
Mataji,
all.
Pranam, Hare Krishna.
Dandavat pranam. Vancha
Thank you,
kalpataruvyascha kripa sindhu
Happy
bhyeva cha.
Deepavali to all the devotees.
Patitana Pavanebhyo
Yo
Vaishnavibhyo Namo
Vaishnavibhyo
Namaha.
namo namah. Anant koti Vaishnavrind ki jai.
Govinda ki
Shri
jai.
Chaitanya Charitamrit ki jai.
Govinda
Shri
ki jai.
Krishna
Shri
Kaviraj
Krishnadas
Goswami
Kaviraj
ki
Goswami ki jai.
jai. Shri Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam. Thank you all. Hari bol.
Hare Krishna, Mataji,
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna. Dandavat pranam.